Welcome everyone. Today we'll be looking at one of the best blueprint for Arknights Endfield for the Valley 4. So looking behind me, what we're learning this particular blueprint. Let me show you guys over here. This is the blueprint and it is very incredible. It is coming from the Chinese server players who spent 2,000 hours on the game during the beta. What you can see with the blueprint is it makes us 18 of the capsule A. It also makes 18 of the purple battery together with other parts as well. So what is going to happen is, in this video, I want to teach you guys step by step how to insert the blueprint, what are the things you need to have ready before doing this, and how to min and max everything with this massive blueprint. So not only does he have the blueprint for the main building, he also have the blueprints for the side buildings as well. And it is pretty incredible, and I've tried it, it's amazing. So now, before you dive in and change the blueprints, what you need to have before doing so is a few things. Now, there are things that if you don't have, that is okay, but there are things you must have. The first thing you must have is the core area needs to be fully expanded. You need to have an entire line of the bus depots ready. So this has to be expanded at least one line of the bus, which I'll show you guys. After that, for the all other three of the side refugee camps, you need to have the camps fully extended, fully expanded, and also have the entire line of the bus depots again to be unlocked. So you can't come over to this plan unless you pretty much have expanded all the campsite over here. And make sure you do this before you transition into this plan. Otherwise, you'll be a little short on batteries and also supplies. After that, it is optional to get all the minerals on the map. The most important minerals are the blue minerals over here. You want to get everything that is on the map that is fully connected to the blue minerals. Now, if you don't get everything, all the blue minerals, that is okay. You just produce a little less item, which I'll show you guys as well. I didn't connect all of them, but it's not bad. So after that, the next thing you need to be ready to have is, before you start, which I almost made a mistake, is to prepare yourself some batteries. So here, notice I prepare myself about 1,000 battery. That is definitely enough. Just prepare yourself some batteries, because as you delete all your facilities, you may be losing out on some of your battery making capacities, and if you go out of power suddenly, you'll ruin your build and you can't do anything. So what I'm going to teach you now is, now that you have the early preparation understood and have those checkbox ticked, I have deleted my entire base to show you guys a step by step how to import this build, what are the precautions and what you need to do, and I also try to make it simplified for you guys. So before we start, if you find yourself a little short on power, I have prepared a few of the battery plans. If you only have 420 batteries, that's okay. If you have the 1200 battery, that's okay, or the 1600. So we use the 1200 battery as an example. So what I'm going to do is, on the side, I'm going to quickly put in some batteries, depending whatever you need and how many you need. I'll just put 4. So now you can see my battery capacity is like 9,000. You don't need that much. You need about 5,000. So actually I can delete some. But make sure you have at least 6,000 battery before you start. So because I have other things running, so it's 7,900. Let's leave it here. So you have enough battery to get going. It's important because once you finish, you don't have batteries, it's a little awkward. So make sure you have some batteries. So over here, I have made the blueprints into a very easy understanding form. But even with that, you need 7 different blueprints. So before that, I recommend moving your core somewhere else, but my core is correctly positioned, so I don't need to move it. You can move this core at the bottom simply by pressing onto the core and then dragging it around, and that is okay. And also, before you put the core back in, make sure you have the exact right material that is feeding through the core. It's also important to make sure the materials are right, which I'll teach you guys as we go. So now coming over to the fun part, you're going to place your Lego pieces, or puzzle pieces. So I made it 1, 2, 3, 4. Basically, you follow instructions and follow the position. The top left is going to be placed exactly to the corner, and we'll place that. Now I'm going to do the bottom left. This is the fun part, when everything fits together. So make sure it's connected. Now we're going to do the top middle. This is one of the best plans I've seen. It is very efficient and it produces pretty much all the in-game items you need to maximize your profit for the Valley 4. And we'll be looking into Ubering as well, which we'll cover on the next video. So now we go to top right. So I'll just show you guys exact placement, because I think it's more important for me to show you guys the placement. Otherwise, you don't know what you're doing, right? So let's take away those, because I need the placement right. To get the top right. Now, And perfect. And then bottom right. So make sure you match them correctly. And everything works perfectly. So this is not all. So once you have connected everything, the next big part is to insert the self-sustained plant farm. This might take a bit of time, so I just do one or two to show you guys. Look at everything that is sleeping over here with the self-sustained plant farm. This is the structure you're looking for, self-picking unit. So look at the seed. You look at the seed that is needed, the sand leaf seed, you only need two kind of plants. One is buck plant, the buck flower, and one is the sand leaf. So if it's yellow, you put in the sand leaf. You put it in manually. You need to do this manually once you start the plant, and rest of that is self-sustained. So once you put that in, that is done. So you come over here, same as before, it is yellow, so we're gonna put in the sand leaf. And you'll be pretty much doing this for all the ones that is the self-sustained plant. So here's one over here. I'll do step by step, because if you miss one, your plant will not run correctly, because every material needs to be fitted in correctly. So again, there's one over here. Now, for those of you that is watching and know what to do, you can skip forward and do this yourself, but I want to show you guys everything that's related, because I missed one and then it's a bit awkward. So here are the red ones. The red ones are the buck flower seed. So what that means is you need to put in the buck flower in. So put the buck flower in, notice that it's producing buck flower seed. It tells you what you're producing, so not what you put in. Keep that in mind. You only put in buck flower and also sand leaf, the plants. So once we get that, oh, a little short on power, right? So we'll sort out the power issue after. I'll show you guys what to do. Continue over here. It will take you a few minutes just to put in the plants, but it's worth it, trust me. I've tested everything, it works fully functional. Then I have to delete everything to show you guys again. So I'm doing this twice. So come on over here. So make sure you don't skip anything. Every bit of the plant needs to be correctly filled. So notice it's yellow, so I put in the sand leaf and check everything here. There's nothing here. And come back to the last part. There's two here. So we go to the seed picking machine. And then we're gonna put in the sand leaf. Now, if you do get it wrong, make sure you take all the plants out and basically you go to the belt and take it out and then take it and replace the ones over here. So if you get it wrong, quickly take all of them out of the plant. And also, if you get it wrong, you can't take all of them out, just delete everything and do it again. It's actually easier that way. Now we're gonna do the sand leaf. And here we're gonna do the sand leaf. It'll take a little bit used to it, and trust me, once you get used to it, it won't be as difficult. So we're gonna put the sand leaf over here. It's pretty amazing how people have spent thousands of hours into this game, and so lucky we can copy paste the plans. And for the AI players, I do have another plan I can share with you guys, just because this is Asian server, right? And we don't have the AI plans yet. So here are the red ones, right? So we're gonna put in the buck leaf. It's also fully maxed out for production as well. Finally, one more buck leaf. So now we check everything. Should be fully running. And let's see. So here the buck plants. So what's happening? Notice anything that is sleeping. Check if this thing's coming. If this thing's coming, that's fine. If something is sleeping and it's not working, that means you haven't put in one of the plants. So just double check the plants and everything works. And once that works, notice the battery is also self-sufficient. So this is why you just need the batteries to get kick-start off, and now you have self-sufficient battery for the rest of the project. Again, you do want to mine as much of the blue mineral as you can, because that is important. So once everything is fully running, make sure you come over to the core. And so what I recommend is, for the core, make sure you have this particular setup, the output correctly inserted before you put in the plant. So this is the blue mineral. This is the purple mineral. Much easier for me to just color code the name. Blue. This is the yellow mineral with iridium ore. And finally, this is the purple mineral. So it's all minerals here. So 2 blue, 3 purple, and also 1 yellow. Make sure this is correctly fit, and notice everything is fitting in correctly. So this is the main core done. The side cores are much easier. So don't be too worried. You don't have to do as much. So coming over to the side cores, you're doing the same exact thing for each of the cores over here. I'm gonna come over here, and you can see my core is fully running, but we're gonna delete it, so just so I can show you guys everything. It's so much quality of life that you can select everything, you can delete. I'm actually saving it. I should be deleting it. So you can press M to move it as well, by the way. If you get the wrong position, you can move it. But here we're going to delete it. So I have made the shared ones for you guys as well for the core. And so this is called the side base times 3. You're doing 3 of the same ones in the side base. Before doing so, you can move your core to the side. And again, make sure you insert the right materials into the core before you put that onto the blueprint, so you don't miss out because your core could be outfitting something else previously. So go to the side base. Now we're gonna make sure the side base is fully extended, remember? And then the side base have all of the buses ready. So we're gonna put this on the side. There's also a bit of spare room you can play around after, which I'll try to make a max for you guys in the future videos, because the Chinese players actually made the side base enough for 4 of the buses. You don't even need the 5th bus by the looks of it, which is very good. So again, before you put the core in, make sure it's the right stuff. I'll show you guys what are the stuff that's fitted. It's all the same for the cores. So here we're fitting the half finished product. So I forgot to mention what is happening in the previous one. Maybe it's easier to show you guys over here. What's happening with the previous one is it's producing half processed materials. And here we're going to finalize those half processed materials into final version of the materials with all the purple items. So the top over here, we're feeding 2 of the sand leaf powder that's grinded from the sand leaf flower. And here we're feeding 1 of the grounded buck flower powder. Make sure it's a blue one with grounded. Don't put the buck leaf flower, it has to be grounded. So make sure you check the right ones. Similarly, if you're not sure, just click on the production feeding line. You can see what items is feeded through. And you can see over here. On the right hand side, we have another buck leaf flower, grounded buck flower, and then here we have 2 steel bottles. So 1 steel bottle and also 1 steel bottle. So what these side ones do is it produces the semi-matte materials into finalized materials like the what you call it, the buck capsule A, and also it produces batteries. So once it produces batteries, it should enable us to go further. Now, one thing notice, I'm out of power. So this is something I want to warn you guys. This is why I have the little side ones. We're using the 1200 as example. Because we're out of power, you can't do anything, right? So you quickly put some of those, and then this should help us to get the power back up. So here it's feeding the power. Notice the power is kicking back up. So this is why I made the side one for you. I'm not sure if you have the 1200 battery spared, or the 1600 battery spared, or the 420 battery spared. So this is why it's important before you do this, like I warned you guys, prepare some batteries, because you'll be making a lot of those batteries after. I prepared a lot of batteries just for that case. So this is fully functional, and then once everything comes into place, and once things gets produced, you'll be good. But I forgot to say one thing, very important. Hopefully you guys didn't skip this part. Each of the side productions also need to manually feed 1 of the plants. It is a yellow plant, but if you don't feed it, it will not work. So we put the yellow plant in, and this is why you need to check if all the factories have a sleeping button. If it is sleeping and nothing is feeding in, that means you have missed feeding 1 of the self-generating plants. That is very important, because if the plants are not feeding through, it will not be able to fulfill its purpose in supplying the rest of the chain, and you will not produce batteries. If you don't have batteries, then your whole thing doesn't work. It also does not process everything. So notice once I feed the plant in, it is slowly getting there, and once we get all the way here, this will help us to produce the necessary components and the batteries and everything we needed for the factories to be fully functional. In the meantime, while that is getting produced, I'll quickly show you guys the other 2 bases. It is the same. So if you come over here, I just show you one of them. You can see all of them are the same. So it is the same layout. You basically do this and everything comes through. And the most important part is to fit the right plants in. Oh, I think I missed one of the plants on the previous one. So come back over here. This is the one I used as an example. So make sure you double check if the plant seeding facilities are fitted through the plant. You just have to do this once for the insertion of the blueprint, and afterwards you're done. Okay, I got both of them. Okay, I think one goes to the other one. So notice that the plants are slowly coming through, and then this will hopefully help you to produce the maximum load of 18 purple capsules and also 18 of the purple batteries. Now you'll be using some of the batteries for your expenditure to maintain the plants. You can see we're using 8 batteries, but this still produces 18, and minus 8 is still 10. and then it will be producing other materials as well. And the best part is you also have a bit of spare room to adjust for the batteries and whatnot on the side. And once that is fed through, I'll show you guys. Notice this is producing the batteries we needed. And once the batteries are getting produced, it will be feeding both into the stash and also into the battery bank. And once that is done, we can remove those ones over here. And then you don't overuse the batteries, because the battery can be sold for profit, right? So, oh no, I deleted too early. Don't do this. So one thing you can quickly do is you just come over here, quickly feed some batteries. It's the same ones, because it's getting the battery anyways. So I'll quickly cheat a little bit because I deleted too early, right? So make sure it's the same battery you're feeding, because this is producing the purple batteries and it's coming over here for 2 of the power banks and 1 is getting stashed away. Notice over here. So that should summarize everything. Let me know if you guys running into troubles with this. And yes, I will share a similar code that is from NA. It is not as well perfectly made and maxed from the Chinese side. And I'll be looking around so the NA players don't miss out too much. One thing I've heard is that you might want to have production level 11. And this will help a little bit because the mineral impurity rich. So I think what that means is this will give you the maximum load once you reach production level 11. But if you don't before that, it still can work. So what they have been saying is on the Chinese community is that you want to min and max all the blue ores that is available on the map. So what that means is time for me to establish more production lines for the minerals. So notice the blue ores, actually you don't have any blue ores over here. So mostly are over in the future region. So the runs over here. So those, you have to pick up all of them for the highest level of production. But if you don't, that is okay as well. So that should summarize everything. I do want to touch on the worrying part, but the worrying part will take too long. And personally, my one is not bad, but I want to see if there's a better version. Then I'll show you guys a perfect version, right? And let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think about this plan? We also have a spare room, and I'll be mega maxing that for you guys as well, to make some finishing products and to make products like those, the purple ones, because if you look at the spare production, notice my ores are not getting self-regenerated. It's actually depleting its supply. I had 70,000, now it's down to 40,000. So I need to establish more mineral lines for this. But I actually have a lot of the purple ores. So in the future videos, any spare side features on the side cams, I'll be using that to produce more materials for you guys as an update video. So stay tuned for that as well. And yes, I did forget a quick shout out and also thank you to the Chinese content creator over here who has shared this one. I also followed the Facebook group who shared even more features, but it's a little harder for you guys to understand Chinese. But if you do, make sure you come over to his video. You can see that he spent 2,000 hours during beta to produce and also select the best production lines. So a big shout out to the content creator Ya历山大个锤子, and also to the groups over here with Endfield, the human department. So thank you for them for sharing. It's very, very well done. Now, if you guys haven't subscribed, this is a really good time to do so, because I'll be covering everything related to Arknights Endfield, relating to the builds, the characters, and also ways of getting promo codes and additional freebies, explorations related to the game. So make sure you subscribe for the latest update and also news related to the game, and also more updates for new patches to come in the future.